What's going on, guys? I'm Journey, back with a thoughts video, this time on Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is a just no different from the 2016 reboot version of it, which is high paced, crazy action, and it's just 100% shoot, shoot, shoot. Uh, like I said before with the 2016 review, I said that it's like you get a gun and then you go bang, bang. This one is like bang, 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 bang. Like that's what this game is. I never played something where you had to be from where you go from 0 to 200 and have to find a way to maintain 250 just so you could get by. And it's a consistent thing throughout the actual game. The soundtrack is still on point, which is it keeps you engaged, it keeps you in. The storyline itself is what you expect. Technically, not a lot of people going to want to play because of the story. You're going to want to play because the gameplay is ridiculous, which this excels at. But at the same token, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the story, so it can intrigue a lot of people. And they have a lot of collectibles, like for instance, a lot of things that you can pick up, dossiers, or whatever it is. You pick up and they give you a description of what this, that, and third is. Just be aware that it's a lot of scientific stuff that they throw in there. And for me, one, I can't understand half of it. That's just me. I'm just gonna be real. Um, you still get perks that you have for like your weapons. You get to allocate your skill points, or I say weapon points that you get from doing battles around the world. Even doing like secret areas, which ain't nothing more but just a battle that you'll take. So you get weapon points for it. You can spend it on your mods. There is mods. There's a whole bunch of different other weapons in the game. You still get your super shotgun. There's a lot of cool, really nice weapons that you get in the game. Now, as far as like even for your suit, there's still perks and benefits. Well, not only that you get an ice grenade, you get your frags, you'll get stuff for the environments, things to help you find more collectibles. Anything you could think of is here. Now I'll talk about some other stuff, which is enemy variety, which I heard was a complaint for the previous one. And for the previous one, enemy variety wasn't a thing for me to actually even talk about. Why? Because that wasn't as big as a thing to me as much as the frequency in which you catch enemies, which then made it an issue. So if this makes any sense, I'll say it this way. In Doom Eternal, you could consider it to be much of the same. You'll see whatever enemies you'll catch, you'll see them. And you're going to see them in droves because there's battle after battle after battle after battle. Because there's such a thing, because this exists like that, when they bring in a new enemy, even if it's like, let's say a brand new introduction, you're going to see this enemy again and again and again. It's just going to happen. It's just boom, okay, one, you didn't tacked on to the other ones that you already fought. Some of them, I do have a problem with, like the martyr, the guy with the shield and the shotgun and the sword. This guy, he's specifically made so that you can only counter him. So you have to wait for him to come to you to then initiate attack. At that point, he will be vulnerable. You can hit him off with your shotgun, he'll get staggered. But unfortunately, this does not always work. Sometimes you can shoot him point blank and he won't get staggered. It happens. I played the game on Nightmare, so it one hit can easily determine going from you're fully healthy to you're in danger. It can happen. It does happen consistently. And with this guy, it sucks. There's no other way to fight him. If you had an enemy that there was multiple ways of fighting, like each enemy there was multiple ways of fighting, you choose how you take your enemy down. You choose the best method on how to go about your business. This does not work that way with this enemy. You can only do him one way since he's based on a counter. You fight him with a shotgun or maybe something else that can stagger, and then you just kind of hope for the best. You might get another shot off. I heard there was a way to stun lock, but I'm not going to go through all that nonsense. Like it's a little bit more than what you would need to do, or what you should have to do against a particular enemy like that. And then later you get a sword in the game, and this sword goes whack against every like big, small enemies. Just go knocking them all out, except for this one guy with the shield, and it just bounces right off. Hell, even to a point where I was like, okay, cool, I'll counter him. Then hit him with the shotgun, you pull out your sword. Well, because the animation's so long, he recovers. And if not that, and let's say you have your sword, and then he comes to attack you, and you swing. He could be in he could literally be in mid animation with his back turned, everything. Shield comes out of nowhere. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. There's sometimes where I've done hit the brother, and then I just staggered him. So he comes out. He comes out. He'll dodge back twice, and he'll slash the sword down, and out comes a projectile from the sword because that happens too. And instead it came straight, and then it curved, and then it curved, and he did it twice. Did it twice, like boom, boom. Did it twice, and I was dead. It made no sense because it was like a hard right. It was a hard right, and it was just like, come on. Another thing about some of these enemies in the game, where they're literally throwing projectiles at you from left, right. It's coming all over. It's like haymakers. It's just coming all over the place. But they do something in particular where they're not shooting at you. They're shooting in the pathways for you to get like where you going to. So one enemy had like 2 bazookas on his arm. So he didn't shoot directly at me. Instead, he's extending his arm outward. One shot he put out was the same length of what it would be in the path I was going, but including a dash. So at the end of the dash, that's where it would be at. And it's like, okay, so now you're predetermining where I'm going. So that's where you're shooting at. So you know where I'm going before I'm going. And so at that point, it just feels like you're fighting a lot of systems sometimes. That's what it does feel like. But the game is really fun, it's engaging, it's very, very rewarding. And I could do it, you could literally do it almost all day. But the best medicine for a game like this is you have to, at some point, if it's not your cup of tea, which technically it isn't mine, but it's starting to become a little bit more of, you have to find a way to take a break. Take a break, relax, because you're going to be honest, you're going to die a lot, it's going to happen. If you're playing on Nightmare, come back. Get a little bit of a breather. You come back, you feel a lot more fresh. You might die a little bit more, but you'll be much better off because it's so much energy that you have to put into this. It can get really, really taxing, frustrating, a whole bunch of feelings and emotions you go through. Reminds me of Celeste, but just much more pressure to be perfect. And this is what this kind of feels like. Yeah, it's a little bit more pressure to be perfect with this. Now, the same missions. This game, I felt like because all the action that was going, I was like, okay, this thing gotta be in it soon. This is meaty. This will take you a good minute to get through. And it just, sometimes it sucks. But the first person shooters and hitboxes are so large. I can't think to myself a more larger hitbox than Mega Man 2. That's just me. That is just me. These hitboxes are freaking large. But with all the assortment of guns and weapons that you have at your disposal, with the exception of certain enemies, there's even a boss that has like a shield, and the shield eyes glow green. There's a tutorial on it. It tells you, hey, shoot it when its eyes are green. I'll shoot it. It won't work sometimes. Sometimes it will. But sometimes you do feel as though, okay, I dodged out. I'm out of the way. And you're just still within range because for whatever reason, the hitboxes are so ridiculously large. But I guess that's the nature of the beast. But overall, is this a fun time? Yes. Can you get more out of your Switch? Yes. Can you go back to it over and over again? Yes. Is this more for like mouse and keyboard? Yes and no. I can understand it being a lot easier to use like a mouse and keyboard. I'm not a mouse and keyboard guy. I started off with a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. That sucked. And then I went to DS4s, and then it went from night and day. I was in there. I was like dodging all around, shooting, getting some headshots, all this other. I was just doing it like bang, bang, bang. So it all comes down to your preferences. Now there is an extra difficulty after Nightmare that is permadeath. Will I ever do it? No, never. I'm sorry. I would never sit there and work so hard on something that I know, especially for the amount of duration that this is, to then do permadeath. So that's for like the ultra crazy elite class, and that's most definitely not for me. Do I recommend this game? Yes, but I'm only going to recommend this game to individuals who are inclined for a challenge and want to be tested. Uh, and if you like first-person shooters, this is one of the best out there, and it could easily be argued to be the best out there as far as right now when it comes to shooters. It's hard for me to think of something else better. This is really, really exceptionally well done, and it's still, once again, with the enemy variety, because you see them so often, you can argue that period regardless. Like you've seen them less, but they had, let's say, kind of like different um AI set up. So where if they're when you first see them, they have this kind of set of actions, and then their health gets low or something, they then start changing their patterns. But there are less of them, it will probably feel a little bit more fruitful. But because they're so a lot of them just really do one or two specific things, which isn't much. You might have an enemy charge at you. You might have another enemy either try to bite you or shoot projectiles at you. It's not much that they do, but they come in droves. And if you're going to keep seeing them all the time, that's where you will then start to feel like, okay, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. It's going to wear on you. It's going to feel, but it's not bad. It's not bad. So it's great. And this is a high recommendation for me, a super high recommendation for me, because I'm ready for the next one. Trust me, I was going through this thing for a while, and I was a little bit worn out by it, but at the end, but I pulled through. And this one makes you after you get chill back a little bit, relax, think about it, and figure out how you really enjoy your experience. This one is one. This to me is like one of the for the ages. I can go back all the time. I love this game, and I hope you find a way to play this game and enjoy it for yourself as well. Let me know. Right now, I know it's available on Xbox Game Pass. You can find it on the PS4 or on your Xbox. Even with the new generations of consoles, you can be able to do backwards compatibility. Play it, test yourselves, and see where you go. And let me know how you enjoy your experience with Doom Eternal. So, hey, if you like the content so far, like and subscribe. You know what to do. And I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, y'all. Later.